Daughter of BBC interview dad becomes a fashion icon as fans swoon over her unique style and bid to steal her look. When Marion Kelly swaggered into the room as her father gave an interview on South Korean politics, a star was born. The 4-year-old became an internet sensation when she appeared in the background of Robert E. Kelly's BBC interview last week. And her legion of fans across the world continues to grow after her appearance at a press conference with her family, as she has been hailed as a style guru. Sucking on a lollipop and looking bored, the youngster was the epitome of cool, and this has not gone unnoticed. Images of Marion wearing a trench coat and glasses were shared widely on Twitter, alongside comments urging her one day to stand for President of the world. David Llewellyn wrote, "If she isn't President of Earth by the time I'm 80, I'll be bitterly disappointed." Another Twitter poster quipped, "BBC interview kid has just been cast as Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman movie." Another offered tips on how to steal her look. Another comment branded her boss of us all. Linda Keating pondered, "What kind of wonderful, magical little one rocks an entrance and a trench coat? This one. Hashtag I'm with little her." She stole the show at a press conference, in which her father spoke out to tell trolls that his wife had not used too much force in dragging them away, and addressed racist assumptions she was his nanny. Marion was followed into the room by baby brother James before wife Young-ae rushed in and quickly ushered them out in a comedy of errors clip that has been viewed millions of times over the world. Today he said he wanted to clear up rumors sparked by the hilarious clip, telling a press conference, "My wife Young-ae did not use too much force in removing the children from the room. People asked this. Our children were not hurt. We normally do not treat our children the way you saw in the clip." He added, "We would like to clear up some of the rumors and controversies around the video. Yes, the woman in the video is my wife, not my nanny." Professor Kelly, 44, also revealed he was so anxious after the disaster that he had apologized to the BBC and thought his career as an interviewer was over. The hilarious footage went viral on Friday after Professor Robert Kelly, questioned about South Korea's president, Park Geun-hye, being ousted from power, was eclipsed by Marion, aged 4, who performed a comical dance in the background. She was followed by little brother James, aged just 9 months, who swept into the study in a fast-moving baby walker. Moments later a stressed-out Young-ae skidded into the room and grappled the children out of shot. Sitting alongside his wife and 2 children today, with Marion sucking a lolly and James munching on a rusk, Professor Kelly was keen to defend his wife against mean-spirited comments. He said it is quite apparent in the video that she is frantically trying to salvage the professionalism of the interview. When Marion, our daughter, speaks in the clip, she says in Korean, "Why mum?" because she was responding, "Surprise, because we do not usually treat out children the way you saw in the clip." He added, in the same vein, "No, I was not shoving Marion out of the way. When I tried to move her behind the chair, I was trying to slide Marion behind the chair because we have toys and books in the room. My hope was that she would play with the books for a few moments until the interview ended." He said they had initially been overwhelmed by the blooper but were now able to laugh at it. "My wife and I did not fight after the blooper, we did not punish our children. In fact, we thought that no television network would ever call us again. We thought it was just a disaster," said Kelly. "I communicated with the BBC immediately afterward and I apologized to them. I said that if they never called us back or never asked me to be on television again, I would understand. And I had assumed this would end any television appearances, that would people see this and assume this was wildly unprofessional, no one would ever call me again, I'd never speak on television again." Asked about becoming a poster child for working fathers trying to balance office commitments with family life, he said, "You have to be flexible. For example, this was my home office space and normally I hope that my children don't come in, I can get more work done. But we want our children to feel comfortable coming into the room and being able to approach their father. And that means you can't keep that strict boundary where some rooms are off limits." Addressing rumors he didn't stand up because he was wearing pajamas or pantsum, he said, "Yes, I was wearing pants. Someone at lunch recognized me today and asked me if I was wearing pants. Strangers ask me if I was wearing pants. I chose not to stand. This is why people were asking me if I was wearing pants because I did not stand. I chose not to stand because I was trying to save the interview. Asked if he worries that the blooper would have any impact on his credibility as a scholar, he said, I am a little bit wary of the fallout for my academic credentials. We didn't want this. I guess this is now the first line of my obituary, right? I'm BBC Dad for a while now, I suppose. I would hope that people would read my work. But I mean, I think there's just a general sense it just sort of happened, right? So I guess not. If we were still talking about this in 6 months, I guess I would be genuinely uncomfortable. I'm surprised, actually, that this is still rolling along. It's day 5 and we still can't answer our phone. Finally, we have no serious comment about the many social analyses about the video. We see this simply as a very public family blooper. We do not see this in some political or social way or as a metaphor for anything. We have no real comment on that sort of stuff. He had earlier told the Wall Street Journal, as soon as she opened the door I saw her image on my screen. She was in a hippity-hoppity mood that day because of the school party. Professor Kelly, 44, said he gamely tried to continue with the interview, but then 9-month-old James tottered into the room. Then I knew it was over, he said. To complete the farce, his wife Young-ae Kim then came skidding through the door. She grabbed the 2 youngsters and attempted to drag them out of the door, but one of them could be heard wailing and the baby's walker got stuck in the door. The video has been viewed 84 million times on the BBC's Facebook page. The hashtag #BBCDad was trending on Twitter and the story has been covered by media from Uruguay to Australia. Professor Kelly, who is from Cleveland, Ohio, focused entirely on the camera as he attempted to blindly hand off his daughter, who was clearly curious about who he was talking to. His mortification soon doubled as baby James excitedly made his way into the room under his own power in a walker. Eventually, she managed to get them both out, and the interview continued. When the interview finished, broadcaster James Menendez told him, "There's a first time for everything. I think you've got some children who need you." Professor Kelly admitted today he was mortified at the time, but in hindsight he could see the funny side. He said his feelings about the incident had gone from surprise and embarrassment to amusement and finally love and affection. "It was terribly cute. I saw the video like everybody else and it's really funny," said Professor Kelly. He said the reaction on social media had been astonishing, and mostly positive, and he had been forced to switch off Twitter and Facebook alerts and put his phone on airplane mode. "I'm not even going near YouTube or Reddit or whatever those other sites are," said Professor Kelly. His wife Young-ae told the Wall Street Journal, "It happens all the time but not like this. This was the first time it happened during an interview." In the immediate aftermath of the video going viral, many people on social media assumed she was his nanny or maid, rather than his wife. Some people accused those who assumed she was the nanny of being racist, leading to some fairly aggressive Twitter fights. In an interview with the BBC Today, Professor Kelly said, "We were pretty uncomfortable with it. But Young-ae played it down and said, people should just enjoy it, not argue over these things. I hope they stop arguing." Professor Kelly was also asked to nail another myth which had prospered on the internet. Menendez asked him today, "Were you wearing pajamas at the time?" Some people said the reason you didn't get up at all was that either you were in your pajamas or maybe you didn't have any trousers on. But he confirmed he was wearing trousers at the time. Professor Kelly moved to Korea in 2008, and married Young-ae Kim, a former yoga teacher who is now a stay-at-home mother to their 2 children, Marion, 4, and James, 9 months. The hilarious footage was first tweeted by BBC producer Julia McFarlane, who promptly deleted it 20 minutes later. She wrote, "When the kids interrupt you in the middle of live TV, a lovely moment and masterfully handled by our guest this morning on South Korea." A BBC spokesman told Mail Online, "We're really grateful to Professor Kelly for his professionalism. This just goes to show that live broadcasting isn't always child's play." A highly respected expert on South Korean politics, Professor Kelly has written for outlets including Foreign Affairs, the European Journal of International Relations and The Economist. He earned his bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Miami and completed his PhD at Ohio State. Kelly's mother Ellen told DailyMail.com the clip was hilarious and she had spoken to her son just as it started to become an internet sensation. "First my sister called and then we spoke to Robert, who was a little disturbed, probably just embarrassed," she said. Mrs. Kelly said she thought it was fantastic and the best part was when his wife came skidding into shot. Mrs. Kelly, from University Heights, just outside Cleveland, told DailyMail.com she was exceptionally proud of her son and all of his accomplishments, and said he was a wonderful and committed father. She and her husband Joseph often Skype him, his wife and the 2 children. She said, "Robert usually Skypes with us from his home office, which is where he did the interview. The kids probably heard voices coming from the computer and assumed it was us," she said laughing. "It was just hilarious." Mrs. Kelly, 72, said her son, who is an expert on South Korean politics, has done a number of interviews on network television for other outlets, including CNN, as well as CNBC, Sky News, and ITN. She said, "I just hope that he gains recognition for his expertise rather than for this, as great as it all is. Life happens," she said, laughing. "The lesson is to lock the door." After the segment finished on Friday, Menendez admitted on Twitter he had struggled to keep it together. He posted a link to the video, with the words, "Hard to keep a straight face." Afterwards, he added,